Brudiclad, Telchor Engineer versus Ghave, Guru of Spores. Unfortunately, can't get a turn 1 Curse of Opulence down, but yeah, we'll keep it anyway. We don't have a turn 2 play. So we'll just go for the... Well, we are on the draw, so we might get into a mountain. Well, we can't, but we do have a turn 1 play there that we can make. So we'll go for Retrofitter Foundry. New card from the Commander 2018 set. We'll go over the commanders. Brudiclad is 6 mana for a 4/4. Gives our tokens haste. And at the beginning of combat on our turn, we get a 2/1 blue Mir token. Then we may choose a token that we control, and each other token that we control becomes a copy of it. And there we have Solemn Simulacrum mana, I think. I think that's the perfect thing to go into. We'll get a mountain off of Solemn Simulacrum. And we'll just have to hope that our opponent doesn't scoop here. If they don't scoop to that, they may scoop to us getting additional mana from Solemn Simulacrum. And basically what we want to do in this deck is play good value creatures and make copies of them. And then Brudiclad's Mirs and the treasure tokens, gold tokens, all these types of things can become copies of the good creatures that we make tokens out of. Ghave, Guru of Spores enters with 5+1/+1 counters. It is Abzan, 5 mana. And 1 and remove a +1/+1 counter creates a Saproling. And then 1 and sack a creature puts a plus counter on a target creature. Our opponent has Corsair of Crufix. So they'll be able to play a land off the top next turn, if there is one available to them, of course. Tempt with Vengeance is... Ironically, it's tempting. How much mana do we have here? That's 2/4. I think we can just go in for our commander here. We'll see if our opponent has any removal for us. If they do, it'll most likely be something that they tap down for next turn. We'll at least get a Mir out of our commander here. And the further the game goes along, the better the Retrofitter Foundry becomes. 2 and tap creates a servo artifact. And then 1 and tap and sack a servo gives us a Thopter. And then tap and sacrifice a Thopter gives us a 4/4 construct. And we do have other means of getting Thopters into play, mainly Sharding Sphinx. So this thing can turn them into Thopters. And failing that, we can just go for the servos off of it. 2 mana and tap for a free token is pretty good. It's even better in this deck because Brudiclad will turn them into copies of Solemn Simulacrum or Zealous Conscript, something like that. Zealous Conscripts is really in here to deal with Planeswalkers or problem permanents of some kind. Planeswalkers mainly. It does go infinite with Kiki Jiki, which is also in the deck. But that's something that will only whip out when we are desperate. Okay, and our opponent gets down 4 mana and goes for nothing. They do have 5 cards left in hand. We can go for Tails on that, as usual. We do lose the flip though, unfortunately. Now then, we can go for Shahili. In fact, we'll go for Combat Celebrant first. Yep, that's Combat Celebrant. That is a 4/1, and if it hasn't been exerted this turn, you may exert it when it attacks. And if you do, you untap all other creatures you control, and after this phase there is an additional combat phase, and we'll just see what we can do with that here. With Sahili Rai, we will minus that down and go for Combat Celebrant. And then at the beginning of combat on our turn, we are going to get a Mirror token. And then the Mirror tokens will become copies of Combat Celebrant. And then we swing in with everything. And I've done that wrong apparently. I've never exerted something before. So what we should have done there was remove one of these from combat, and I assume if we could physically click exert instead of attack, I'm assuming that would have given us the option to exert there. I was just waiting for a trigger to go on the stack for us to say yes or no to. Well, not to worry, we'll be able to do it next turn hopefully. Yeah, I think we would have been able to go infinite there. Yeah, and exile the token. Yeah, what we can do there, I think it's right. What I'm saying here is we can, as long as we have a token copy of Combat Celebrant, we can swing in and exert one of them. There'll be an additional combat phase, which will give us an additional mirror, which will become a copy of Combat Celebrant. And then we do the same with the with another copy of Combat Celebrant, exert it, and then same with the next one, and so on and so forth. So let's see if we can do it correctly this time. Okay, we'll just go straight into combat here, I think. In fact, no we won't. We'll go for Curse of Opulence. That will get us an additional token each turn. And just hope that our opponent doesn't have a Swords to Plowshares. Doesn't look like they do. Make that a copy of the Combat Celebrant. Now then, let's go. Attack with everything. Pull that back and pull that back. Now then, let's... Yes, attack and exert. We'll get our gold token. There's an additional combat phase after this. And then that gold token will become a copy of the Combat Celebrant, of course. It includes all tokens, not just the creature tokens. Okay, so they are blocking that one. That's fine because we still have another Combat Celebrant to do this with. And this will, of course, remove their beast. Okay, so we'll make all of our tokens a copy of Combat Celebrant, and we'll do it all over again, but we'll pull this one back this time. And there we go. We get another token. And we deal lethal to our opponent, and we could effectively do that forever. That goes infinite. As long as we can get the damage through, and as long as we can keep making copies of Combat Celebrant, which is easy enough once we have at least one copy of the Combat Celebrant, one token copy of it, and that shouldn't be too difficult to produce thanks to our commander throwing out tokens. So yeah, that is an example of another win condition in the deck. Hope you all enjoyed that Brudiclad game. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching.